answer the call, right?
That's right.
So you have to be diplomatic. You have to be that good guy that's in charge. I don't like to say leader, but that good person that's in charge that knows how to handle everything. And I had multiple people that I looked up to, and George being one of them, So, and I haven't seen him in so many years because, as I got out of the club and, George was still in the club, I quit the club in 2004 and then, he was still on his journey with it. And then, he's out and, it's like this. When you leave, even if you leave in good, people don't like that, right? Some people just, they're going to stay what they're doing. But I'm always the type of guy, like if I can't give 100%, I'm not going to stay there. It's just not for me no more. I know when it's time to cut and run, and it just wasn't there for me no more, So you don't really talk to the old guys anymore, and then, things change and they get mad at you and you're out bad and you know how it goes, right? You've heard the stories, so you don't get to see anybody, but I was able to follow George on social media and see, and and a lot of people ask me because they know I was around in them days, and I always say like George was the real deal. He was a man of his word. You didn't get no bullshit with George. He treated everybody with respect and the same, from the club to not the club. He dealt with a lot of things with us, with the Outlaw stuff too. And I remember a time, I'm going to say a time because George just remembered coming up here. He struck my memory. When we sat down with the Outlaws and we talked about this already on that peace deal, and I said there was 5, 6 guys from each side, we came to San Francisco, okay? And they came to California to sit down because they knew they had everybody's word that this was a peacetime. Let's sit down and talk and put the differences aside. So I came in the room in San Francisco, and George was there, me, George, and 5, 6 other guys. I don't know exactly who. But I sat in a chair at the end of the table, and the Outlaw leadership wasn't there yet. They were coming. And walking into one of our clubhouses, big move for them. You never know. It's, takes a lot of guts to do that,
Sure.
Unarmed, and they're taking our word. And one of the members that was sitting there, and he goes, hey, Rode, you better not sit there, man. You're gonna be too intimidating when these guys sit here. And George says, leave him sit where he wants, right? Like they're coming here, right? And we sat on the table, and we all were good, and we sat down and we made some rules, like let's follow these rules, let's practice the good neighbor policy and everything. So George was involved in that, and that's, right after that is when I told, I went to prison shortly after that, and, but the memories are, so he's one of the guys, that paved the path for us youngsters, and I used to like coming out to Ventura because I liked California. I used to come to San Jose a lot, and I was real tight with a guy that's passed on by the name of Steve Dawson, and that's where they get the Mr. 187. He's the original. Steve's the dude who kind of, that was his nickname, and he gave me that nickname, and the allowed me to get the tattoo on my wrist. That came from Steve. That was like a gift from him.
For you to become
like you
Mr.
could,
187.
yeah, that was his thing. That was Steve's. He's the original. And Steve was an amazing boxer, an amazing member and stuff, and passed away, right? So I used to come out here all the time, but I would like the Ventura crew because there was a lot of youngsters over there. I was a youngster at the time. These guys were much older than me, I was 24, 25 years old and stuff. A lot of the guys were 10, 12 years, 15 years older than me, been around a long time. So they had the young crew in Ventura, and California was great, especially back in them times because they didn't have that controversy going on. It was peaceful time. So I would get out of Chicago and come down here and